What is going on, guys? Doing a quick little emergency podcast for you guys. Kevin Durant, I'll show the headline for the day. Kevin Durant out for at least 2 weeks with a hamstring injury. Some are theorizing it may be the same hamstring injury that affected him during the Olympics. So let's break down what games are coming up for the Phoenix Suns in the next 2 weeks, and it's a pretty tough schedule, okay? Start out with the Kings. Oh, I guess I have those dates wrong. I apologize. Then the Jazz, then the Kings again, then the Thunder, then the Timberwolves, then the Magic, and then the Knicks. A pretty tough schedule coming up for the Phoenix Suns. And this whole schedule, the whole year is going to be tough. I mean, there's going to be no breaks. This Western Conference is just absolutely brutal. So they just keep chugging along. But without Kevin Durant, it's going to be pretty tough to chug along. I wanted to show his stats for the season: 27.6 points per game, 3.4 assists, 6.6 rebounds. I'm sure most of you guys knew that, but he's been an MVP candidate and one of the most important players to this Suns team. Now, we're going to start out why you shouldn't be concerned about this injury and why the Suns should be able to keep playing as usual. Kevin Durant's going to be a massive loss, but not all hope is lost in the next 2 weeks. They're not going to go and lose out without Kevin Durant. So first, let's start on-off minutes for this squad, okay? This might actually be very surprising to a lot of you. With Kevin Durant on the court, the offense scores, well, it's a combination of offense and defense, 7 less points per 100% possessions. And I got this from unpredictable.com, so take it with a grain of salt. I have no clue how accurate their numbers are, but I don't know why you would promote numbers if they weren't accurate, right? So then his off numbers plus 24, and it hasn't been long enough into the season to really make anything of that, but that goes to show the depth of the Phoenix Suns, that the Phoenix Suns are actually slightly better with Kevin Durant off the court. So let's look at Kevin Durant's statistics, all right? Oh, shoot. Let me pull up the Suns real quick. I apologize. I lost that real quick. So, Kevin Durant, his usage rate is the second highest on the team at 26.7, right behind Devin Booker. Hasn't really felt like Devin Booker's usage rate has been that high, but I think that might be because of how many early shot clock threes in transition he takes. It's kind of getting annoying at this point. If he starts hitting it, it'll stop being annoying, but for now he needs to kind of figure out how to hit those shots if he's going to be taking them so often. And then Kevin Durant has the third highest turnover rate on this team at 14.7%. That means 14% of possessions end in a turnover under Kevin Durant. That's not what we want to see, right? He had a couple issues with it last year, turnovers, and that's going to bring up the larger point I want to talk about with this offense and Kevin Durant, okay? This offense has been pretty good this year, right? They've been about what we've needed them to be, especially because the defense has actually performed pretty well. Let me see if I can pull up their official offensive rating. Sorry, I don't have that ready for you guys. Let's see. Standings. So the official points per game of this offense is 114.4, and then they give up 111.1. And so 114, if you look around the rest of the West, finds themselves right along the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Timberwolves, but they're pretty far behind teams like the Golden State Warriors or the Denver Nuggets, right? Or even the Memphis Grizzlies. All of those teams have had better offenses as this year has gone on. So it's not like the Phoenix Suns are running a picture-perfect offense yet. Coach Bud is still trying to figure some things out, and frankly, some guys are just missing shots that I think we all know they should be hitting. Devin Booker, we're mainly looking at you. We need to see him playing that role of the superstar, and we've seen in a couple games, not super consistently yet. Now is the time for him to step up and become that superstar that we know he has been for the last couple of years for the Phoenix Suns. But my larger point about the offense, I keep getting sidetracked, okay? Kevin Durant, I think he's a little too ISO heavy, even at this point in the Coach Budenholzer revolution, we'll call it. Okay, 20. Let's see, 20. No. 15.5% of Kevin Durant's shots come off of an assist. That is, I believe, the lowest of most of the starting players, right? Devin Booker, 28.6. That's what we want. Bradley Beal, 16.5. Wish it was a little higher, but it's fine. 15.5%. I still think that Kevin Durant's numbers largely come from his own creation. Which is fine, and that's what he's really good at. But if we look at shot frequency with Kevin Durant on the court, okay, all mid-range shots, according to Cleaning the Glass, are up by 5.7%, and three-pointers go down by 7.9%. Kevin Durant isn't actually playing that much different from last year. And for better or for worse, that's what the Suns have kind of needed and what they've gotten this year, right? I think a lot of guys are switching into that role of, adjusting, like Devin Booker, right? His mid-range attempts per game or when he's in the offense are down 4% this year. And that's what they were looking for with Coach Budenholzer, revolutionize the offense and modernize the offense, okay? And that really hasn't happened with Kevin Durant. So I think we're going to get to see a unique opportunity with Kevin Durant injured here. We're going to see the bench be opened up a little more, right? Also is going to get some more playing time because we're going to need some more length off the bench. Bol might get some more playing time. Damian Lee will hopefully get a couple more shots up a game. And Josh Okogie, now that he's returning from injury, and with Ryan Dunn, we don't really know how long he'll be out. Hopefully he's back soon. I think it'll be in the next game or two he's back, but I don't have any official word. That's just kind of the vibe I'm getting from it. But Josh Okogie should hopefully get a little bit more playing time. So we're going to get to empty the bench with Kevin Durant. There's going to be more threes attempted per game, right? And the offense should hopefully have less turnovers. Kevin Durant's been a little bit turnover prone since he's gotten to the Valley, and we've been able to overlook it this season because they're winning, right? That's all that matters. But now that he's out, we get to have an open and honest conversation about what is actually happening here in the Valley. And it's a lot of turnovers. It's still a lot of mid-range shots, and I think the offense is going to change a little bit because Tyus Jones is now going to be the prime creator, right? Devin Booker has been more than fine getting most of his points off of assists. That's where he was at his best in his career under Chris Paul. That's when he got his most MVP votes in 2021. So we're going to get to see them empty the bench, the ball movement be a little bit better, and less turnovers. Now, a reason to panic. Clutch time. Kevin Durant has been the best clutch time player in the entire NBA this year, scoring the most points in the clutch. I think the clutch is defined as the final 5 minutes of the game with it's maybe 5 possession game, something like that, right? You guys can look that up for me. But he's been the best clutch time player, right? This team has completely flipped the script. They're now 7-0 in clutch games, right? In close games, especially in those one-score games. Kevin Durant has been knocked down. We didn't see him go out and win the game against the Mavericks, but it didn't matter because we got some contributions from the rest of the guys. And the only thing I really worry about is with this bench getting more minutes, we're still going to be playing these close games, right? It's still a tough schedule. Don't expect the Phoenix Suns to start blowing teams out because there's going to be more ball movement and less turnovers, right? It's still going to be close games, and I'm a little bit worried about this team performing in the clutch. I don't know how well they're going to be able to perform. We saw a couple years ago Devin Booker was one of the best clutch time players in the entire NBA, but he wasn't good last year, and he's been okay this year. So we'll see if he's able to step up. A lot of this little stretch relies on Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, Tyus Jones, and Bradley Beal to be able to step up, and then Yusuf Nurkic to continue to just play well, right? So if we look at some defensive stats, this is where I think the Suns will take the most drop off this season. Kevin Durant was one of the better rim protectors for this team, right? With him on the court, shots at the rim are down 7.5%. That's, I believe, the best on the team. Yeah, right up there. Royce O'Neal's 5.7. Royce O'Neal's been fantastic. Stay tuned. There's going to be a Royce O'Neal video coming up. I just wanted to make this an emergency Kevin Durant video first. But Kevin Durant actually has not been very good in the mid-range. With him on the court, teams are shooting 17.2% higher. And then from three-point, they've been shooting 6.1%. So I think the biggest loss for this team is that rim protection without Kevin Durant on the court. And the Suns are going to need guys like Ryan Dunn, Oso, and Royce O'Neal. Even though Royce O'Neal is on the shorter end, he's feisty, and he can prevent guys from getting to the rim pretty well. He's been just so good. I can't overstate how good Royce O'Neal has been for this team. But yeah, that is what I'm most concerned about. Defensive end, rim protection. Kevin Durant's been pretty good for this team in rim protection, and this defense as a whole has been really solid this year. And I know I've touched on it a couple times, and I'll probably make a video about it here in the next couple of weeks, just about how good they are and what they've been doing and what Coach Bud is doing differently than Vogel, since it's largely the same starting five. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Obviously, you can see the agenda. Only Kevin Durant. He's the main focus of this video, and he'll be missed. Don't get my words twisted when I talk about the offense with him on and off. He will be missed. He's been a massive contributor for this team, but there's a little bit of hope for the Phoenix Suns on the horizon that maybe they can get into some new sets and some new actions without Kevin Durant there, since he's so ball dominant. I know most people don't like to think of him as a ball dominant player, but this year he just has been not getting a lot of his points off assists. That might be Bud's fault. That might be Tyus's fault, but maybe they learned something while he's out and they're able to utilize him better once he gets back, because I think this offense can score a whole lot more than 114 points per game. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been another episode of the 480 Podcast. I'm Strider Bigler, and guess what? The Phoenix Suns are going to be okay, so don't even worry. We're in for an amazing season.